playoffs once before, way back, but this is a different deal, as you've talked about. How is, from your years of being like a leader on this team, what has this run been like so far? As one of the stars, one of the leaders out here.
Yeah, it's been a great run so far. Seeing the way that we've come together throughout the course of the season, fought through some adversity in the middle part of the season when we lost a few, and then to end the season strong like the way we did. That momentum I feel like we've carried into the playoffs, and each week we've gotten better. DQ talks a lot about leveling up, being better each week, and I feel like we've answered that call, and it's going to take our best this week to be able to win in Philly. So it's been great to be a part of this, but you know we're not really celebrating or reminiscing because the job's not done yet. So we're looking forward to the challenge this weekend, but I'm proud of the way that we have just continued to get better each and every week, and we still don't feel like we've reached our ceiling. So to feel that way in this part of the season, you couldn't ask for more. So everything we want still out in front of us, but we're focused on preparing the White Ray so we could go into this game fully ready to go.
Terry, in working with Cliff, it seems like he wants or listens to your guys' input on stuff. How does that all work, and how helpful is that to getting you guys going?
Yeah, well, I feel like this entire offensive unit, coaches and players included, trust his plan and trust the way he puts the plan out in front of us, from the way we practice to the way we are expected to play without the ball, from the tempo we're expected to play with. His expectations are extremely clear. And, I feel like that is something throughout football that is probably preached in all 32 locker rooms, the expectations. But I feel like one of the things that I feel like separates Cliff, that in my experience being in the league so far, is his willingness to communicate with the players, his willingness to be able to ask us what we're seeing out there, what do we feel like can work, not only just during the week, but when we get out there and the bullets are flying. I don't think I've quite experienced a coach on the offensive side of the ball who's that adamant about it. I've had that in the past where you ask for your opinion, but to implement it in real time, it takes a lot of trust for your coordinator to do that and put that kind of trust in the group of guys that we have. And I think it's a testament to the group of guys we have in the locker room on the offensive side of the ball, to where he fully trusts what we're seeing in our preparation, and we trust in his ability to give us the best game plan to be successful. So it's a very cohesive relationship that we feel like we have with him. And, I think he trusts that we're going to be where we need to be and execute the game plan, but we also trust that he's going to put us in the best situation to be successful. And when you kind of have that relationship with a coach, you feel like anything is possible, because you're going with a game plan, and the other team makes plays as well, so you got to be able to adjust on the fly. And so for him to be able to come up to us during the sidelines, during the games, and ask what we like, or we're going to get to this, what do you think about that? That open dialogue, I feel like that's huge, because obviously as players, we know the coach's job is to coach and put us in the best situation to be successful. But at the same time, there's an element of the game where we're playing out there on the field and things are happening fast. It's sometimes hard for the coordinators to be able to see. So to have a coach that truly embodies that and not only just talks about it, he walks it, it's unbelievably empowering for us. And I feel like that's why we've been able to continue to improve this offense over the course of the season.
DQ was talking about Jayden's demeanor during games, specifically on the sideline, saying he said he's the Terminator. I might crack a smile or something after the game's over.
Right.
But to have that, do you notice that he stays doesn't ride the roller coaster of a game, and is it comforting as a receiver to see that?
Yeah, I mean he's locked in from the start of quarter one to the end of quarter four, and I would definitely echo that sentiment. He stays as even kill as a player I've ever been around. I don't try to use that as a cliche, but to have that kind of demeanor as a rookie and then a rookie quarterback is I feel like one of the things that makes him so unique. And whether it's a good play or a bad play, he's always worried about the next play. And he's worried about how we can execute this next play at the highest possible ability that we have for our offense. And so he's really a great teammate to be around. Again, he goes about his business the right way. He's the ultimate pro as a rookie. He knows what it's like to not only take care of his body, but to put the time and the work in the film study. And his ability to get better each and every week is something that's always blown me away since he's gotten here. And, I think when you see your quarterback is never shaken, good or bad, that gives you confidence any position, defense as well, special teams, everybody. When you know one of the leaders of your team is, no matter what's happening, he's going to continue to be himself and stay even. So we played in some of the most hostile environments. We've been playing in some of the biggest stages, and he's treating it the same each and every week. And, I love that about him, and that's I feel like something that permeates throughout our team, and I don't see that changing with him. So to have that so early in his career, it's a testament to who he is as a person, the way he was raised by his family, and is the reason why I feel like he has a chance to be a really great player in the league.
Terry, to that point, what is something that maybe gets him out of that character, that maybe gets him fired up? Is there any example you have? Because he does seem so interesting.
Yeah, that's a good question. I feel like one thing that stood out to me was the Ravens game when we lost that game, and he's sitting on the cooler, and he's really pissed off. Like you could see it visibly on his face that he's really mad and frustrated with how the game is gone. And as a vet, it's a long season. That was a great team, as you saw. They made it to a very far point in the playoffs, and we didn't play our best, but it was early part of the season, so we knew there was a lot of ball left. But his mindset in that game was like, we can't afford to lose anything. He doesn't want to lose at anything. And after him and I had the conversation, and I told him, don't ever lose that, because I feel like in this league, fortunately for him and this team, we haven't experienced that a lot this year, losing, but you're going to lose some games in the NFL, and the one thing you can't do is accept that. And I feel like that's one thing that really sets him apart. He doesn't accept losing. He doesn't accept a bad rep out in practice. Like, you see him at this point in the season, if he doesn't like the rep, we're doing it again. And I think that's really what stands out about him, his competitiveness, whether it's in practice, whether he's playing cards down in the weight room, in the locker room, or we're out in the game. He's going to continue to compete, and his demeanor shows that each and every rep.
Terry, a lot's been kind of written this year about the change of the culture, DQ and Jayden, Bobby, guys like that coming in. What's had the biggest influence or impact on you as a guy that's only been here, maybe that you've learned, but also, like, what's been important for veterans like you that have been here to maybe communicate back the other way, that the new people need to know about playing in Washington?
Yeah, I think DQ was first and foremost, he's a leader of men. Playing for a coach that allows you to be yourself within the culture is extremely empowering. I'm sure he's learned a lot about me. I've learned a lot about him, and I've learned a lot about this team and the culture that we've been building. And he's allowed us to drive this car this season in the eyes of how we want this Commanders team to look like. We have veterans and veteran coaches coming from all throughout the league to be on this team this year. And the first thing we really focused on was getting as close as we could, getting to know each other on a personal level, being able to depend on one another on and off the field. And when you have that type of trust within someone that you see on a daily basis, sometimes more than your family, it's really important when you go through the ups and downs of an NFL season. And, one of my favorite DQ quotes is, he hates the words being underdogs, or, I think, Tampa, first time we played them, somebody made the comment like, oh, you guys will get them next year. You guys will get them the next time. And he's like, nah, screw that. Like, we're going to get them this time. And I love that demeanor, because it's a no excuse mentality. And when he says this is just what we do, we're living that right now. Like, this is a huge game, biggest game that I know I played in my career. A lot of us has played in our careers. But in my emotions about this game is this is just what we do. This is what we've been doing all season. And so you don't have to get up and get emotionally hype or do anything different or extra this week, because we've been preparing like a championship game each and every week of the season. The way we prepare is to play like we're playing in the Super Bowl. And I think that we're reaping the results of that, but also having other guys who have been in the league as long as Bobby has Zach have got Super Bowls. They have the type of experience that I don't have. And so I've learned a lot from them as leaders, as myself just being 6 years in the league, of when to say the right things, when to kind of take a step back. And it's allowed me to become even more of a vocal leader this year, not only in my unit, but the group, our offensive group in the team. And so it feels great, honestly, knowing that all that weight doesn't fall on one person. I think that's one thing that's different this year, where all the leadership, all the playmaking, all the gotta have it situation moments don't fall on one person, one player, one coach. It's a collective unit that comes together, who are very unselfish, that want to get the job done. And just being dog-ass competitors, man, I think that's something that I love about this culture. That's the first thing that DQ said when he got here. If you're a dog-ass competitor, this is the place for you. And I sat up in my seat and I smiled, because that's what I've been itching for. And to be a part of an entire organization, top to bottom, from ownership down to the players, you can see why the culture has cultivated so quickly, because we've bought into what DQ is saying, and the players have taken ownership, not only coming together and galvanizing, but putting the work in on the field to make sure that we're backing up our words with our actions.
Terry, and so kind of along that same lines, very early on in the season, I think even back to OTAs, you all established something called the Commander Standard.
Yeah.
And so how has that played a factor, that words into action, into where you all are right now?
Yeah, that's it's a code we live by. It's something that came up in our early part of our season in the spring, and DQ put it into the leaders' hands and told us to come up with something that you could call it a code, a creed, a saint, whatever you want to call it. It's something that we all live by, that we all sign, that we all, no matter if you've been here for 6 years, or you just came in off of free agency or practice squad, whatever. This is the code that you live by as a commander. And when you hold a standard and you put it in writing, you sign your name to it, you hold yourself accountable to that. And not only you hold yourself accountable to that, the other guys in the locker room are going to hold you accountable to that. And it's really cool to be able to see the words that we put down, and you look at what we wrote back in, what was it, April, March, whenever we wrote it early in the spring, and we're now here in January, and you see all the things that we wrote on that piece of paper are coming to life, and it's the way of life that we approach each and every day coming through the building. So it was cool to be able to come up with something from scratch with a group of guys who didn't really know each other much before this season, but we had a goal of being different and being uncommon than anything this place has ever seen. And for us to put that down on paper and then live by it, anybody can come up here and see all these sayings. Like, we can say anybody, anytime, anywhere, but if you don't live it, like, it doesn't really mean nothing. And I think we got a group of people who want to live the words that we're speaking, and that's why I'm big on being who you say you are. And doesn't mean you're going to be perfect. You're going to make mistakes. Sometimes you're going to fall short. But if you say you're a dog or a competitor, you have to be that. You can't pick and choose when you're whatever you say you are. And so that commander standard is non-negotiable. And the great thing about it is there hasn't been any issues and hiccups with it, because that's the culture that we've created here. And so going forward, that's who we are. And so whoever comes in here, that's what you hold your standard to. And that's the great thing about a culture, because before that, sometimes anything goes. Like, it's sometimes hard to keep guys accountable. But when you have one sound, one standard, and everybody's holding accountable to it, you got no choice but to live up to that standard and uphold that, because if you don't, you stick out like a sore thumb, and you got to buy in. So it's not a threat. We take that with great pride, because we built that from the ground up, and we're looking forward to building on that.